Territorial Cup is a rivalry football game between the Arizona State University Sun Devils and the University of Arizona Wildcats that began in 1899. This rivalry has been cited as one of the most intense rivalries in college football and is extremely important to each of the universities.
The Territorial Cup is, if you just look at it from the sense of, it's been declared by the NCAA to be the officially the oldest college football trophy game. So that's because the Territorial Cup itself was made in the late 1800s. I think really when you think about the Territorial Cup, the trophy part of it, and then just the intensity of the rivalry in a state where there's really only two schools that play major football. A lot of other states have, more than two universities, and the rivalry part of it is kind of spread out a little more. Like Ohio State and Michigan are rivals, but they also have rivalries with other schools, and the same in the SEC. But here in Arizona, it's just Arizona and Arizona State. You pretty much fall down on one side or the other, and so that creates the intensity. I do think it's up there in terms of most intense rivalries. Probably if you polled the entire nation, it wouldn't come out at the top. But if you really realistically look at two fan bases that really dislike each other and the dynamic between the two cities, it's pretty far up there, I think.
To be a part of the Territorial Cup, I guess it's funny is it's not really about me, it's about everyone else around me. It's about all the people who played before me, all the residents, and kind of the history of it. I'm just here from a different state trying to push it forward. It's because I come from Colorado where our rivalries are just like Colorado State versus Colorado. It's Pac-12 versus Mountain West, not very competitive, but this one's super competitive because with 120 years of rivalry, and it's just a lot of history, and it kind of shows the importance.
Arizona currently leads the series with 49 wins, 43 defeats, and 1 tie, but in recent years the rivalry has become a closer competition, leading fans to bring even more passionate energy to the games.
I have friends that went to U of A for reasons I don't understand. But it was kind of cool to just have a back and forth with them pretty much all year leading up to it. So, football, basketball, any season, it's good fun to be around. It's state dominance, you get the beautiful Territorial Cup, which is always cool to see around campus. It just, it really puts a claim onto the state for the school. So it's nice to always have that right here in Tempe.
The rivalry is always a special time for fans and players. Not only is it the last game of the regular season, but it's a chance for the teams to claim the state for their universities.
For the general public, they're much more likely to identify with a sports team. And football has really enabled not just ASU, but a lot of schools, but for ASU specifically, and in those years going up into the 80s, that was a big point of pride and identity for the school.
As a player, the Territorial Cup, you kind of have everyone from Arizona on your back. All the people who lived here, they're depending on you to win this game to represent them. And it's kind of and I'm from Colorado, so it's kind of cool to see that, all these people live in Arizona now. I have to represent the people in Arizona, not just me or my team. The energy in the stadium is like no other. You'll see the crowd's packed. You'll see the other team chirping the whole game. All the coaches are telling you to keep your composure so you don't get kicked out of the game. You have players, other team talking about your grandma, your mom, and it gets really personal. So it's just kind of hyped up. We're kind of taught to play with passion and not emotion. So it's just like that.
In recent years, the games tend to be very competitive with memorable plays and comebacks, but no matter how the game plays out, Fans always have a good time representing their teams and keeping the rivalry alive. Here are a few of those memorable moments.
My freshman year, we won. So that was nice. I mean, it's cool because I'm from Chicago, so coming into town and actually being a part of it versus seeing it on TV, it's always nice to be a little bit closer to the action. So that was a special moment.
I guess what comes to mind is last year, fourth quarter, we were down 21 points in the fourth quarter, and we came back and we won, and they missed a field goal, and that was my first Territorial Cup, and that was insane. That was one of my best memories.
Favorite Territorial Cup memory was when we blocked 2 field goals to win the cup in Tucson and send Zendejas packing.
With the Territorial Cup being an annual event, there should be many more memorable moments to come.